Hi there. Did you know that the last week of February is National Eating Disorder Awareness? My name's Erin. I teach people the tools that I used to recover from a lifelong binge eating disorder and binge restrict bulimia. Yeah, disordered eating. Estimated that binge eating disorder is the most common disorder in the United States. One hallmark a lot of us with binge eating disorder have is that we eat really quickly. Where did we learn that? A client and I recently discovered this pattern. Were you one of those kids that you weren't allowed to leave the table until you finished your food? And when you were little and you were picky and not really super hungry, it would take you a long time. And I remembered that feeling, having to sit at the table until I had finished my food. And I remember feeling trapped at the table. And I wanted to break free. And so I finished everything on my plate, even if I was not hungry anymore. So eating my way out of a trap. As I got older, got more and more control over my eating, but I was still being pretty coerced in a lot of ways. I always felt trapped. But what was one way I had learned I could escape a trap? By eating really quickly and getting away from the table. I think that impacted a lot of why I still, even in my eating disorder recovery, still struggle to slow down when I eat. So stay tuned for part 2 about what we can do instead of eating like we're trying to bite our own leg off to escape a trap. Hi, time for part 2 of why we eat really fast and how to slow down. For anybody who missed part 1, it is the last week of February, which means it is Eating Disorder Awareness Week. I'm Erin. I teach people the tools that I use to recover from a lifetime of binge... To recover from a lifetime of binge eating disorder and binge restrict bulimia. So in part 1, I explained why I think we eat fast because it helps us feel like we are breaking free of a trap, like that old trap of you can't leave the table until you have finished your food. So we're eating because we want something good, we want freedom, we want autonomy. So how do we meet that need in a constructive way rather than a long-term destructive way? Here's what I have learned in my recovery and my studies and my putting together my course, Theology of the Body for Food Addicts, where we meet St. John Paul II's Theology of the Body with modern secular addiction science to gain those tools that I share with you to break those cycles of eating disorder behavior. Right? The theology of the body keeps the score in a nutshell. So that means if we're going to break this habit, it needs to be something that involves our whole bodies. We can't just think it. It has to be more than just our brains. It has to be our whole selves. So since this is something I said in part 1, I'm still struggling with, these are tools that I just thought up to try. I'm going to share them with you now, and I'm going to try using them during the week. And then I'll check back in with you through the week to see how it works. So tool number 1, I know I've got to use my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul. So when I notice myself starting to eat really quickly, I could get up and walk around. See, that's moving. That's reminding me I can leave this table anytime I want. I am free to come back anytime I want. So remind my whole body that I'm free. If I'm in a situation where it would be rude to get up from the table, I was thinking, okay, I can take my finger and trace the word freedom, like either on the tabletop or like on my pant leg, somewhere it's not going to be really obtrusive. Another thing I can do, pay attention to one part of my body that's not my stomach or my mouth and wiggle that part. So like I could wiggle my toes and stop and ask myself, what if I were free to eat really slowly? And notice how my feet feel as they're wiggling. That what if question is powerful, and I can talk about that another time. But in the meantime, I'm going to try these tools and get back to you. If you try them, can you let me know how they work for you? All right, bye.